Hi, I'm Suzanne Cohan-Lange, and this series is called The Conversation, Talking to Ourselves. Where do I start? I think that my work has always been political, and some would say feminist, although I don't really think I just deal with women's issues. It just sort of looks that way sometimes. I believe we live in an echo chamber society where we only talk to people who agree with us. We've become so polarized in this culture that we're afraid to talk to people who disagree with us. We avoid it like the plague. Or if we are faced with people who disagree with us politically, socially, sexually, we talk about the weather because we're too afraid. The work is all cast glass with LED ribbons. The original piece was clay and is an image of my first granddaughter. People ask me, why in the world did you choose a little girl's face to represent the culture? And I'll be damned if I know. I think it's because of the fact that I never had children of my own. So when my husband and I got married and I inherited my stepson who was 12, many years later I found myself as a grandmother, and I can hardly get over how much fun it is to be a grandmother. So the faces of children are really fascinating to me, which is how Maeve's face, and Maeve now thinks she's famous because she's the face of all these, Maeve's face became the symbol of the culture, and how we just keep repeating ourselves and talking to each other. It's cast glass. I learned how to do cast glass. I'm basically a wood carver, which you can hardly tell by looking at this, but I am. And I started doing cast glass through a workshop I took at Lowell Street Studios, and really found it a fascinating medium. Partially because of the fact that I never know what's going to happen. You make a mold, cut up colored glass, put it in the mold, run it into the kiln, and 2 days later you take it out and you're like, wow, that's pretty interesting. I had no idea that was going to happen. So for somebody who's new at glass, it's really been fun. I wanted to add a conversation of light. And originally I spoke to a neon artist who actually exhibits here sometimes. And she suggested I use these LED ribbons. And they're great fun. They tend to burn out the faces a little bit, but I think the point is gotten across of the circularity of conversation in the culture.